Okay, so now let's proceed to the yoga framework for action. So, hindi ko na rin siya babasahin and explain ko na lang din siya. So, basically, itong yoga framework for action is 10-year plan siya para gawing mas safe yung mundo against natural hazards. So, na-endorse ito ng United Nations General Assembly after ng 2005 World Disaster Reduction Conference. So in short, parang a global agreement siya kung paano i-handle and i-reduce yung risk ng disasters. So dito nga sabi dito, itong HFA siya yung first plan na nagbibigay ng detailed guide kung ano yung kailangan gawin para ma-reduce yung disaster losses. So, involved dito lahat ng government, international agencies, disaster experts, and iba pang partners para sama-samang kumilos. Meaning, hindi lang isang group ang gumagalaw, but also lahat ng sectors nagtutulungan under one system. So, sabi dito, yung HFA may 5 priorities para mas clear yung action plan. So, ang main goal niya is to reduce disaster losses by 2015 by building resilience ng nations and communities. So, in short, gusto nilang mas mabawasan yung casualties and damage sa tao, properties, economy, and environmental kapag may disaster. So, next naman dito, sabi dito is, ito yung pinaka-guideline ng disaster risk reductions. So, 168 member states ng UN ang nag-adapt ng HFA noong 2005 sa Kobe, Japan. So, target nila is malaking reduction ng disaster losses by 2015 sa buhay ng tao and pati na rin sa social, economic, and environmental assets. So, next, we have objectives here. So, di ko na rin siya babasahin and direct explain ko na lang din siya. So, the first one, yung first objective ng yoga framework for action is to review and update the Yokohama strategy and its plan of action plan. So, bale, chine-check nila kung effective ba yung old framework sa disaster risk reductions, and then ina-update nila para mas maging sakto sa mga bagong challenges ng 21st century like climate change and rapid urbanization. So, basically, gusto nilang magkaroon ng mas modern and relevant guide para sa disaster management. So, next naman po is ang second objective is to identify specific activities na nag-ensure ng implementation ng disaster management policies. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lang siya plano sa papel, kundi dapat may actual steps tulad ng hazard assessments, risk monitoring, and vulnerability studies. So, kaya dito pumapasok yung importance ng concrete activities kasi through that, mas nagiging systematic yung disaster risk reductions. So, the third objective naman is to share good practice and lessons learned. So, dito is every country pwedeng mag-share ng experiences nila like either successes or failures para matuto yung iba. So, ang goal nito is hindi lang matuto sa good examples, kundi pati na rin malaman yung mga gaps and challenges na dapat i-address. So, kaya mas nagiging collaborative and approach sa disaster reduction. So, the fourth one is dito naman, gusto rin ng HFA na itaas yung awareness ng public and policymakers about the importance of disaster risk reduction kasi kung walang awareness, mahirap i-implement yung mga policies. So, kaya kailangan talaga ng information drives, trainings, and education programs para lahat is informed and conscious sa role nila sa disaster preparedness and risk reductions. So, lastly, the fifth objective is to increase the reliability and availability for all disaster-related information. So, ito naman, importante kasi na ang information is updated, reliable, and accessible para sa lahat ng agencies and communities. For example, kung may accurate hazard maps, and strong early warning systems, is mas prepared ang LGUs and communities. So, through reliable information, mas effective ang disaster management and mas konti ang losses. So, next naman po is proceed naman tayo sa expected outcomes. So, dito naman, no, yung expected outcome ng Hyogo Framework for Action is nakafocus talaga siya sa pagbawas ng disaster losses. Ibig sabihin nito is gusto ng HFA na bumaba yung bilang ng namamatay and nasasaktan kapag may disaster. Hindi lang siya tungkol sa tao, kundi pati natin sa mga social, economic, and environmental assets. Like mga bahay, eskwelahan, negosyo, infrastructure, and yung mga kalikasan. Kaya kung mas konti ang damages and causes after ng disaster, ibig sabihin, nagiging effective yung framework. Pero, sabi naman dito, no, hindi lang daw basta pagbawas ng damage yung goal. Ang mas malalim na expected outcome is yung pagbuo ng resilience and mga bansa and communities. So, kapag resilient yung isang lugar, kahit matamaan siya ng disasters, kaya pa rin niyang bumangon and magpatuloy ng normal life without too much disruptions. So, next paragraph naman is, para ma-achieve yung outcome na ito, kailangan ng commitment and participation ng lahat ng sectors. Hindi pwedeng ang government lang, which is kasama dito yung regional and international organizations, NGOs, civil societies, and yung mga volunteers, private sectors, and scientific community. So, ang government yung naglalatag ng policies, and ang scientific experts yung nagbibigay ng data and warnings, while yung NGOs is tumutulong sa relief, and ang communities mismo yung naghahanda and sumusunod sa safety measures. So, in short, kung lahat is nagko-cooperate, mas malaki yung chance na maabot yung expected outcome ng HFA. So, now, let's proceed to the strategies goals ng Hyogo Framework for Action in 2005 to 2015. So, now, hindi ko na rin siya babasahin, no? So, yung first strategic goal ng HFA is ang integration ng disaster risk reduction into sustainable development policies and planning. So, ang ibig sabihin naman nito is dapat kasama sa lahat ng development plans ng bansa yung disaster risk reduction. For example, kung magtatayo ng bagong subdivision or like infrastructure, kailangan isama yung flood control and drainage and hazard awareness sa planning. Or pati dapat iniisip na agad kung flood prone ba yung lugar, kung safe ba yung materials, and kung may measure ba para maging disaster resilient. Kasi kung walang integration, kahit gaano pa yan kaganda ang development, mabilis lang ito masisira kapag may dumating na disaster. So, the next naman, the second goal is development and strengthening of institutions, mechanism, and capacities to build resilience to hazards. So, dito pumapasok yung disaster management councils, LGUs, and agencies na dapat palakasin through trainings, proper funding. Kung mahina naman yung institutions, hindi ito magiging effective. For example, kung strong ang capacity ng local government na mag-handle ng disaster, mas mabilis nilang natutulungan yung community, and mas mapabilis din yung recovery. So, lastly, ang pangatlong goal naman is systematic incorporation of risk reduction approaches sa emergency preparedness, response, and recovery program. So, dito naman, ang focus dito is to make sure na ang risk reduction is kasama hindi lang sa planning stage, kundi sa actual response and recovery. So, kapag may disaster, hindi lang basta relief goods yung iniisip, kundi paano mag-build ng mas matibay na structure. For example, after ng isang malakas na lindol, hindi lang basta for pag-rebuild ng mga bahay ang gagawin, kundi gagawin silang mas matibay and earthquake resistance. So that systematic dapat yung approach from preparedness hanggang recovery. So now let's proceed to the 5 priority actions of YOGO framework for action. So the first one, ensure that disaster risk reduction is a national and local priority with a strong institutional basis for implementation. So, sabi dito, sa unang priority, sinasabi na ang disaster risk reduction is dapat recognized priority sa lahat ng levels, mula sa national government hanggang barangay level. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang siya dapat project planning, kundi permanent part ng policies and plans ng bansa. So, para magawa ito, kailangan may laws, policies, and institution na nakalaan talaga sa DRR. Kasama dito yung pagbuo ng Disaster Risk Management Councils, yung pag-allocate ng budgets para sa disaster preparedness, and pagkakaroon ng measurable indicators para makita kung may progress. So, next naman po, identify, assess, and monitor disaster risk and enhance early warning. So, dito naman, the second priority is tungkol sa knowledge and awareness of risk. So, bago makapagplano, dapat muna natin kilalanin and i-assess yung hazards and vulnerabilities ng isang lugar. Kasama dito yung risk mapping, hazard assessments, vulnerability studies, and regular monitoring. So, mahalaga rin ang early warning systems. Dapat timely, reliable, and accessible yung information para makapaghanda ang communities bago pa man dumating yung disaster. So, example nito is sa Pilipinas, kapag may bagyo, ginagamit na we have the priority action 3, which is the use knowledge, innovation, and education to build a culture of safety and resilience at all levels. So, dito naman, ang focus dito is knowledge, sharing, and education. So, kapag alam ng tao kung ano yung hazards and ano yung dapat gawin and ano yung preventive measures, mas nagiging resilient yung community. Kasama dito yung pag-i-integrate ng DRR sa school curriculum, pagbibigay ng community training and seminars, paggamit ng technology and innovations para i-share yung information. So, importante rin ang research para mas maintindihan ang climate change and disaster patterns. So, next we have the priority action 4, which is the reduce the underlying risk factors. So, dito naman, tumutukoy ito sa root causes ng disaster risk. Hindi lang siya sapat na maghanda sa disaster. Dapat i-address din kung bakit vulnerable yung mga tao and communities. Kasama dito yung sustainable land using planning, proper environmental management, and pag-adapt sa effects ng climate change. So, halimbawa, dapat may tamang zoning laws para hindi magtayo ng bahay sa landslide-prone areas. Kailangan ding bawasan yung deforestation kasi nagiging sanhi ito ng floods. Oh my God. So, lastly, the priority action 5, which is the strengthen disaster preparedness for effective response at all levels. So, dito naman, this last priority is about sa preparedness. Like, kahit gaano pa kaganda yung prevention measures, hindi maiiwasan na may disasters pa rin na darating. So, kaya dapat rin ready ang lahat, from government agencies hanggang communities. So, kasama dito yung capacity building, training and responders, yung pagbuo ng contingency plans, stockpiling of relief goods, and yung paggamit ng technology para sa rapid communication. So, importante rin na alam ng bawat tao yung role nila during disaster. So, that's all po.